Okay. Huh?
Can you see my feet?
It's already on. She's worried about her feet. Can you guys see her feet?
Yeah. Say yes, I can.
So we were filming before, and when we started talking about the ghosts, the phone magically shut off. So we don't know if that was the ghost or just something went wrong with the phone. So you were in the middle of the story when we were everyone just start over. Everyone was downstairs. They were listening to music and
your dad and his three of his friends were downstairs sitting by the stereo, and it was one of those consoles that doesn't have any legs. It's just flat on the ground, and they were just smoking pot. They had come in from smoking pot, and they were. So that's why it was kind of like, oh, is that real? But it came off the stereo came up off the ground like inches, like 4 inches, and slammed back down, and they were all just like, I didn't see that. Did you see that? I didn't see that. And they all ran upstairs.
So all 3 of them saw it. So
they all saw it.
it
4
had
of
to
them,
have happened. Yeah, 4 of them.
And one of the guys still talks about it.
Mm.
Yeah. I talked to him recently at like messaging, and he talked about that. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
And you said that was after Grandma Beverly had died.
Yes.
And you thought what?
We thought it was her coming back to tell her son that he needed to straighten up because he was doing a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah.
But he was living with us at the time, so.
And those are the only things that had happened.
And then, did I talk about what happened with my dad too?
You talked about the downstairs door opening and closing.
Though that was the windows.
Or the windows, but the
The
windows
windows?
upstairs open and closed, right?
The sliding glass door.
Okay.
That was my dad. He would sleep night. He would sleep days,
Mm-hmm.
and he said he would close all the close the curtains up there, and he woke up and he saw the curtains open and shut, and then he said he felt something touch his foot, and this was I think that was probably the last thing that happened.
Okay.
I think that's the last thing we talk about the front door? Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Open your phone again.
That's mostly, I think that was all that happened. And it wasn't in that much time,
Yeah.
It was 2 weeks of weird stuff happening.
And that was it.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to revisit and ask about for Kyle is what was the day he was born like?
We had to get somebody to watch you, and it was the neighbor.
Mm.
And I had, oh yeah, okay, now I remember.
Who was it that watched me?
Robin.
Robin, yeah.
And but it was early in the day, and I had to call Mindy because there was no cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
I had to call Mindy so she could try to get a hold of Manuel to tell your dad to come home.
Mm.
And it was, morning. It was like 9 o'clock, and so he'd been gone for 3 hours or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I'm in labor, but let's go to the bank so your dad has some cash. So you and me drove to the bank, and I went in and got some money for your dad and went back home. And then Robin watched you, and we drove to the hospital. And I remember my doctor telling me I shouldn't be screaming. So you don't need to do that. It hurts. But I actually had a migraine when I was in labor with him. That was awful.
Oh, jeez.
It's all you need is more pain.
More pain, yeah.
And then he was born, and your dad had not picked a name. I had lots of names picked, but he said he knew people with that name and he didn't want that name. So he wasn't named until after he was born.
Did you not know what he was too?
I did,
Oh, but he didn't.
but your dad didn't.
No, he didn't want to know.
He didn't want me to know.
Oh,
He didn't want us to know.
Okay, so you knew.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
gotcha.
the guy was doing an ultrasound on me, and he said, "Do you want to know what it is? Because I know what it is." And I'm like, "Oh, well, that tells me what it is right there, you know, because that's how they can tell is
Yeah.
seeing the little thingy,
The little thing.
little penis,
You hear that, Kyle? It's little.
the little penis."
Just a little guy.
But yeah, that's that was a crazy day too. That was a lot of hours of labor too.
Yeah. And who
But it was a good day.
did he end up showing up? My dad, or when did he actually get there?
Yeah, he drove me.
Oh,
He actually drove me to that.
oh, I thought you said.
He wasn't. I had to go look for him when I was in labor with you.
Oh, okay.
But with Kyle, he came home.
Oh, so they did get a hold of him. And he
Yes.
ran
Yeah,
one. Okay.
Mindy got a hold of him.
Okay.
I guess they had radios.
Yeah,
She
I
had a
remember
radio?
They had a walkie-talkie. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He came back and then he stayed with them. I think I came home the next. I think you spent the night there with Tommy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was nice to have nice neighbors like that.
Yeah. And then, who was at the hospital that day? And who showed up?
My parents came. Yeah. Julie came.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
Julie came that same day.
Mhm.
Wow. Was she 4 hours late?
No, I think she got there. I mean, you know, that's when you stayed in the hospital overnight. Sometimes now they say, "Okay, go home now."
Well, remember they kept us for a few days with Andy. So
Yeah.
now they keep you longer than they did back then.
Yeah. For a while there, they were
Mm.
kicking you out, but yeah. But then he finally had a name.
How did that name come about?
We wanted another K name,
Uh-huh.
and I was suggesting different K names, and I thought of Kyle and wanted the same middle initial as you for some
Mhm.
reason. I don't know why we did that, but we did.
Yeah.
And yeah, Kyle Andrew.
Yeah. Okay. But Andrew was the name that you wanted to be the first name, right? Or
No,
Oh, I thought you said that.
no, I just was thinking, I remember thinking of all kinds of names now. I can't remember what they were, but
Mm.
they all seem to be not good enough for your dad, so.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then we named our Andrew after Kyle.
Mhm.
What about Molly? Heard that day?
Molly, it was Doug's birthday.